I can walk up to my front door and unlock it with my iPhone, which automatically turns on all my lights. Then I can snap a photo of my Mac setup and it instantly shows up on my Mac, which unlocks using my Apple Watch. From here, I can actually take my iPad and then I can drag this picture straight through to Apple Notes on my iPad. Other tech companies try to do stuff like this, but honestly, it's not even close. The Apple ecosystem starts with your iCloud account. So that's where we're gonna start, and then we'll get into some of the crazy tricks. iCloud is what makes your devices yours. It's how my Apple Watch only connects to my stuff, and it'll never get tangled up in your stuff. If you have any Apple device, you have an iCloud account. All your photos, health data, and more gets linked to this account. This means any pictures you take on your iPhone will automatically sync to iCloud and then instantly appear on my iPad. With iCloud, not only can you see all your photos, but this works for things like calendar, reminders, and notes also. If I add a calendar event on my iPhone, since my iPhone and iPad share an iCloud, it almost instantly appears on my iPad calendar. Most people know about these iCloud features, but there's so much more that you might not know about, like continuity camera, universal control, or handoff. Let's start with continuity camera. Continuity camera is basically the ability to use your iPhone's camera on another device. If I take my MacBook Pro here and open up a camera app, all I need to do is take my iPhone, set it up here, and wait a second, and it'll automatically connect. Now I can use center stage, portrait mode, or some of Apple's built-in lighting tools. But one of the craziest features is I can choose desk view, which somehow takes a top-down shot of whatever's in front of your computer. And continuity camera doesn't stop here. If you have an Apple TV with at least tvOS 17, you can actually FaceTime someone using the Apple TV and it'll automatically connect to your iPhone's camera. This is great if you're FaceTiming your whole family and need to fit everyone, or maybe a conference call for work or something like that. Then we have universal control, which is really cool if you have both an iPad and a Mac. Check this out. On my Mac, I have a keyboard and a mouse, same with my iPad, and I can use them both like I would normally, but instead, if I slide the two closer together, they'll automatically connect, letting me take the cursor from my Mac and drag it over to the iPad. To take this one step further, I have something drawn out on my iPad, and I actually want to drag it to the notes that I'm working on in my Mac. All I have to do is grab it on my iPad, and I can actually drag it straight through to the notes on my Mac. But of course, it doesn't stop there, because you can actually use your iPad as a second display for your Mac by going to the display settings and turning on Sidecar. While you're at it, you might as well use your Apple TV as a third display by using screen mirroring in that same setting. All this is done over Wi-Fi and there's no need for cables. One other cool feature that's done over Wi-Fi is handoff, which lets you start a project on one device, then finish on another. For example, let's check out the Notes app. If I go to Notes on my iPad and start drawing something, I can go to my Mac, and on the dock right here, I can open that note and start exactly where I left off. This also works on things like AirPods. If I start listening to something on my iPad, it'll automatically connect. Then maybe I get a phone call and answer it on my Mac. The AirPods will automatically switch from my iPad to my Mac. Now I can actually pick up my iPhone and I'll get a green banner on top of my screen, so I can instantly switch the phone call to my iPhone. One last really cool trick and then I'll end the video. The way copying text works on Apple devices is really cool. I can copy anything like text or photos on my iPhone, and instead of it copying just to the iPhone, it actually copies and sends straight to iCloud. Now it doesn't matter what device I paste from, it'll always be the last copied thing on any device. In my opinion, the Apple ecosystem is what makes Apple products so great. And soon Apple's coming up with all their new softwares, which is going to bring tons more ecosystem features. And I'm going to go extremely in depth in everything, so stay tuned for those videos.